Hey guys, welcome to my berry garden. Today I want to show you guys some of the berries that I grow here. These berries aren't very popular. You may not have heard of them before. So let's see. I've got red currants, white currants, black currants, and gooseberries. Do you know about these things? These are part of a family called the ribes family. So let's go see what I'm talking about. Here are some of the red currants. As you can see how they grow like bunches, sort of like grapes, and they are fairly easy to harvest. Here are some of the white currants. Here's a close-up of them. They kind of look like fish eggs to me. You can see right through them. Both the red and the white currants are very sweet and delicious. Here is what the gooseberries look like. You can see they kind of look like small grapes. But the fun little fact with these guys is they've got thorns on them. This particular branch, you can't see all that many, but there are a decent amount of them. So if you like going through thorns looking for possible fruit, then maybe gooseberries are your friends. Here are the black currants. These black currants are the similar shape and size and all. You can see how big that they are, but they have a completely different smell and flavor. They are not sweet. They're more like musky. If that makes any sense, I don't know. They're not sweet either, but they also grow the same way. And these, because they are of this dark color, have, of course, many antioxidants and loads of pectin. Okay, now you're saying, why have I never heard of these beautiful, delicious berries before? Well, that's because they're outlawed berries. Okay, not anymore. They used to be illegal. Can you believe it? Berries that you can eat used to be illegal. Well, here's the little story. Back in the 1900s, we had this big old forestry thing going on, right? Big cash, big money, big forestry. And so all of a sudden, these little white pines were getting a disease. They were getting white pine blister rust disease, and then boop, killing them off. So what was causing this? Then they searched, what's happening? And this is when it was discovered that these lovely little berries apparently are the host for this disease. Because those little pine trees, they're not spreading it to each other and then causing the disease. No, it's these innocent little berries that are delicious that are doing this. So then, you know what happened, right? Because the industry was losing bazillions of dollars, these little deals, these guys here, they had to go. So before you know it, the US government said, hey, all of these deals, all these berries need to be destroyed. So they all disappeared, all went away. But then big forest, big tree, and big berry, they all said, hey, I know, let's have some new cultivars that are resistant to this stuff. And that is what they both did. Each of these groups started to come up with these new cultivars, and now we have new ones that are not hosts for this dreaded disease that kills off the pine. So that's why we have this. And you know when that happened? 1966. 1966, all of a sudden, oh, it's legal now for y'all to have some berries again. But here's a little catch. Different states have different regulations, different laws. So can you have these guys at your place? I don't know. You're going to have to check into it. In New York State, you can, but it depends on the variety that you are growing. Now, these guys here have been here for around 20 years. These things propagate very easily. They spread very easily. So once you plant them, chances are good you're going to keep them, and they're just going to keep growing. And even birds will come and eat these, and then there'll be seeds everywhere. You'll find them in other places. So they're fairly easy to grow. So no worries. These guys, not illegal anymore. Can you believe it? These berries, once illegal. This is what this berry garden looks like. So you can see over there are the red currants. Back there are the white. You can see how tall that they get. I'd say 4 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet. And the front here, I've got some lily of the valley. Now, lily of the valley and those guys back there, you know, the red and the white currants, they have shallower root systems on them than what the black currants do. But for now, they're all surviving happily there. Now, in the back, I've got these elderberry, which are also everywhere. If you have elderberry, you know they spread. They're not going to stay where they're supposed to. So now we get into the shade. Over here is where we've got gooseberry. Now you see how tall that is. That's probably 5 feet, 6 feet tall. And here's some more along the way. And of course, more small elderberry. Now you notice that this particular light here is pretty shaded. It's pretty shady, which isn't really the greatest for these guys. They do like a dappled sunlight, but they're still surviving. They're still surviving. So check it out. Check out the darkness here. And they're doing well. Now let's go back over to this side. These guys here, these are the black currants. And you can see that these guys are much taller, actually. They're more vigorous, and they have taken up a much larger space of this garden. There were the same amount of plants from the beginning when I planted these guys. And you can see it's quite large, actually. But the root system of the black currants are different from the red and the white. They are deeper and more vigorous. So if you're thinking about, is this such a good idea under those, they can survive because the root system is much deeper on those guys. So I'm not worried so much there, because once you plant lily of the valley, it's over. It's over for you, right? Can't get rid of that stuff. Thanks for spending some time with me today in my berry garden. And now we know about these illegal berries. Crazy, right? Until next time.